Schultz 450 has a terrific question. Do you think that losing the large-scale practical effects shops like ILM hurts the collective knowledge of craftsmen? There's no denying that building an organization like ILM is building a crucible in which ingenuity happens. That is totally a thing. And there were practices that were ILM specific, certain kinds of joints or mechanics that were preferred, dampeners or mechanical stuff that was utilized, ways in which we did stuff. Institutional knowledge that gets built within an institution. Do I think that it hurts the collective knowledge of craftspeople? No. I mean, for the most part, craftspeople are a sharing bunch. In my experience, that to get good at making stuff is to get good at talking about making stuff, and it's really pleasurable to do that and share stories and techniques and tips and tricks. And yet, it is sad that there are no permanent effect shops really in the US. And by that I mean there are places like Spectral Motion and Legacy Effects that are doing amazing work and hired tons and tons of people to do lots of work all the time. But those are still boom and bust shops where they expand their hiring to fit a film and then they contract it when there's no work. And that is the film industry. The same thing happens at Weta Workshop. It's hard to overstate how great ILM was when I first got there and 200 people were working. It was fat. Everyone was happy. There was no backbiting because there was no competition for work. Everyone just had work. That was a really lovely, lovely thing. When work gets slight and the time between jobs gets long, people get competitive. That's a natural thing. I got competitive. I figured out how to get work. I figured out how to get hired when I wasn't necessarily on the supervisor's mind. Ooh, package. I'm going to open that right after this live stream. So I'm sad that like Spectral Motion and Legacy and other big effect shops like Weta and those guys can't just set up, hire a whole bunch of people and keep them employed all the time. Every supervisor I know would love that to be the case. Unfortunately, the nature of film is such that I don't think that's ever going to be the case. I think that is a great place to wrap. I can't thank you guys enough for these great questions. They really made me think. These are not questions I've gotten before many times, and I felt, like I said, like I got to work in this magical place for a magical period of time. And a couple of years after I left, the model shop shut down for good. So I always describe my time at ILM as like that scene in Raiders when the door is coming down and Indy grabs his hat or the whip right out from under just before the door closes. That's me getting my desk at ILM, the door closed, and I'm out, and you know, the rest of the movie's now happening. I am so grateful for the incredibly creative machine that George and all those original team members from Star Wars built up in Marin, California. And Light and Magic is doing a great job of telling that story. Francis Coppola is a huge part of the story of all that film work coming to Northern California, and I would love to see a documentary someday that really talks about Francis and George being in their 20s in LA, achieving huge amounts of success, and then deciding, screw this noise, we're moving up north and doing stuff the way we want to do it. And then they did. It's one of the more remarkable things that anybody creative has done in the film industry. Seriously, like the long tail of the effect that both of those folks have had over the film industry is inestimable. And so thanks for giving me a chance to talk about it for an hour. Oh, I'm back. Hey, I'm not quite done yet because the package that arrived was a really, really cool one. This is something Norm sent me, I think like 2 days ago. It really was like 2 days ago. And I ordered it, and it is just a very, this is an interesting item. And Norm was like, I don't know if you're looking for this kind of thing, but I wanted you to know that it was available. And we will include a link in the description when we put this up. But what this is it's a 1/6 scale Apollo spacesuit. Oh! Look at this thing. The site that these are being sold on, these are $60 a piece. So I bought 4 of them. Because the only thing I like better than a spacesuit is many spacesuits. This is coming from Monkey Depot in Mesa, Arizona. And like I said, we'll include a link in the description. These are beautiful. And $60 a pop is an absolute screaming deal of a deal. That is fantastic. Norm, I'm so glad you decided not to cut the live stream just so we could show this beautiful piece. I'm going to have a lot of fun dressing these. All right, now it's time for me to go. Thanks, you guys. I'll see you in November. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to support us even further, you can by becoming a tested member. Details are, of course, below, but it includes all sorts of perks, and we're building them all the time. You get advanced word and behind-the-scenes photos of some of our projects. Questions, you get to ask direct questions during my live streams, and we have some members-only videos, including the Adam real-time series of unbroken, unedited shots of me working here in the shop. They are weirdly meditative. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you on the next one.